Thank you, Ajuri. Colonel Dari, that matter of obligation versus the right of the citizens will come into play here a great deal because there are a lot of concerns how the military man who's trained to shoot, who's trained with a weapon to protect the integrity of a nation, should handle a civilian who is unarmed. And that's where the rage is coming from here. So how should this matter best be handled?
When you say best be handled, well, you have to look at it in two ways. By the military, by the government.
And by the citizens.
And by the citizens as well. Absolutely, okay. Absolutely. Well, I've just listened to Mike Ejiofor and the former commissioner, expressing their views on this current issue we are discussing here. For example, I beg to disagree with Mr. Ejiofor when he said that, the force must be commensurate. Because he and I are not on the ground. It is the commander that is on the ground who knows the force that is being used. And it's not like a commodity that you measure. Can you imagine how lethal, a petrol bomb could be? I mean, we've just read it. It's all in the papers, how some of those people were arrested with petrol bomb. What are you doing with petrol bomb? It's to cause mayhem, to cause havoc, to kill people. And a lot of people were being pelleted with, missile stones and all these things, So my own take, my suggestion here is that, first, it's not too late, to have a very, very serious, constructive dialogue with the leadership of the sect. Yes, their main leader, Ezazaki, is under detention. The government should look into that. First, maybe they put him under house arrest and then create an atmosphere such that, they can invite some of the lieutenants in and let's dialogue. Even if, like, traditionally they have their processions, such processions must be done under strict, rules and regulations. It's not a situation whereby they take over the whole streets. If they're going to have their processions, let the government or law enforcement agents like the police, know about this. Mm-hmm. And then they provide, them, with coverage, escorts. Okay? And they should ensure that they do not carry any offensive weapon. Because even catapult is a weapon. Talk less of a petrol bomb. Okay? So the people, there's need for serious education, serious awareness of the, And
on what part here? Education and awareness, on what part?
On the part of the government, to the entire citizen, and then, of course, the leadership of the Islamic movement of Nigeria too. They need to educate their followers on how to conduct themselves. Nobody is saying that you should not practice your religion. Nobody is saying that you should not celebrate, your festivals, but you must do it within the ambit of the law, such that, activities, people's lives, commercial activities are not paralyzed. Because as we speak, I mean, you need to just get in touch with people, even in the Federal Capital Territory. Some people can't even get out of their homes to go to work. Some people can't get out of their homes to go and, do their, selling and buying. Some people who are even sick are not able to go out freely to the hospitals to get treatment. So this is affecting, people, innocent citizens.
I made a statement when we started out. I said something about rights and obligation.
Yes.
Which is, legally speaking now, using your mind as a lawyer, not as a security man now, which one should supersede, the rights or the obligations? Because while the citizen has a right, he also has obligations to the nation.
Well, you know, as we speak, I think both should walk pari passu. All right? Your obligations, and then the rights will come too.
I asked that question because the military man who has his weapon, what's he trained to do with that weapon?
He is trained to protect lives and property.
In the need to protect lives and property, is he first to shoot to kill or shoot to maim?
It depends on how he reads the situation.
Okay.
Depends on how he reads the situation.
If he's faced with a civilian who is, in quote, unarmed.
Well, definitely, if the civilian is unarmed, then there's no threat.
I use the word in parentheses, in quote, unarmed. So he's armed with a stone, he's armed with a petrol bomb, as you said. What should the soldier on ground? If you were being a soldier, what would you have done in that situation?
Well, there's what you call, even when soldiers come out in aid of civil police, you know, in domestic operations, there's a drill. But those ones are theoretical. Because once you are confronted, you are in the field, it's a different ball game. It's a different ball game. The first thing is self-preservation, self-defense.
Okay. All right, thank you very much, Colonel Dari. Yomi Dari is a former director of Army Legal Services. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
And that's it on this segment. From here, it's over to you, Ajuri.
Welcome back to the Abuja studio. Just in our closing moments now, when you look at the whole situation holistically now, some people are saying, look, if you release Sheikh Ibrahim al-Zakzaki from custody, there's going to be peace and restoration of that community. Some others have said, if you do that, will the Iranians stop essentially meddling as they have? Will it end there? What are your thoughts on a potential lasting solution moving forward, Mr. Ejiofor?
Well, I want to advise government. Let government try and release this and be ready to manage the effects of the release. Let's give it a try. If he starts more trouble, he'll be taken back. But as long as you continue to keep him there, the tension will continue to mount. You can't stop those people.
Mr. Alobi?
Yeah, I think I share his views. You see, and again, it also shows to a light extent to that the issue of the rule of law in this country, because the courts have said release him on bail. I mean, we're going, and when we say we're holding the Constitution, our Constitution says everything that anybody does must be based on the law of the land, the rule of law. So I think if he's released on bail, released on bail and being monitored closely, you can even ask him what they call parole, to be reporting even once a week or twice a month, and be monitored. That it is better, because as he's there, there's no way his followers, adherents will just go and sleep, because they say, their leader, they cannot sleep when their leader is being incarcerated. So I think the government, I would advise also that the government should see how they can. Let's see that we're a government that will hold the rule of law, and also we also promote the democratic norms and values. It's very, very important. And again, I want to say, the government should think of how to empower the Nigerian police. The government should come to think about how to carry out public enlightenment to educate the citizens of this country about their obligations and their rights and duties, not just only right. Because the citizens are being fed with right, whereas they're not being informed of their obligations to the government and to the communities.
And just to add to that, I know in a political season, it's obviously going to be important as well that our politicians don't attempt to use some of these crises to inflame more tensions in the country as well. Yeah. Gentlemen, I thank you so much for coming on and sharing your thoughts with us this morning.
Thank you.
I have been speaking with two gentlemen, Mr. Lawrence Alobi, who is a former commissioner of the FCT Police Command, and Mr. Mike Ejiofor, who is a former director of the Department of State Security. an interesting conversation so far. At this juncture, we do take a short break, and we certainly hope that you will stay with us. Please do.